This is chapter 2-4, notes continued for reasonings with properties in algebra, part 2. Okay. For this particular section or continued section, you need to really review and go back over 2-1 part 2-4, part 1 notes. You've got to make sure you understand the properties of equality, the addition property, the subtraction property, the multiplication property, and so on and so forth. The first video. If you understand them, you'll begin to see the properties of equality, the addition, subtraction, multiplication. All the properties can be used with segment lengths or with angle measurements. Let's look how. First of all, let's start with the reflexive property. That was an equality that was also part of the properties that you were supposed to study in the first half or part of this particular section. Reflexive means A equals A or B equals B or C equals C. We can use that for a line segment. For example, for any segment, let's say we have segment AB. AB will be equal to itself. So, if I have a line segment such that I have here, let's say this is line segment AB, it will be equal to itself over here as well. If I can recopy this. Okay, let's just say this is AB again, transferred over. Well, the reflexive property says that for any segment of AB, AB will be equal to itself. Okay, they're equal to one another. Same thing, I can use the reflexive property if I was talking about an angle. Let's say I have angle A. If this is angle A, for any angle A, the measure of angle A is equal to the measure of angle A. It's equal to itself. So if I have it, it's going to be equal to itself. And I don't like that. It makes a different color. So the measure of angle A, whatever that angle measure, if it's 34 degrees, the measure of angle A, which is 34 degrees, is equal to the measure of angle A, which is still 34 degrees. It's equal to itself. That's called the reflexive property. Symmetric. Well, again, one of the properties of equality you're supposed to study. If segment AB is equal to segment CD, then that means if I flip it, segment CD is also equal to segment AB. And these are to be segments, segment, segment, segment. So if I have that drawn here, if I have segment AB, and I say that the length of segment AB is equal to the segment CD. If segment AB is equal to segment CD, I can switch this around and say segment, I'm switching it here, segment let me go here. I can switch this to say segment CD is equal to segment AB. And I would have liked to put this whole thing on that side there. So segment AB is equal to segment CD, but also I could write this the other way and say segment CD is equal to AB. They're both the same here. Okay, one and the same. Alright. I can use that for a segment, and again I can also use this for angle measure. If the measure of angle A is equal to the measure of angle B, it can be swapped. I said the measure, whatever the measure of angle B is, it's also equal to the measure of angle A. Transitive property. If line segment AB, and I'm going to write that in this corner, this information here. If line segment AB is equal to line segment CD, and then I turn around and say if AB is equal to CD, and then I say CD is equal to EF. So here's CD, and it's supposed to equal EF. Blue. EF, then that means that segment AB has to also be equal to EF. If AB equals CD and CD equals EF, then that means that AB will also be equal to EF. And there's AB equaling EF. And this is, again, the transitive property. If the first and second are equal to in other words, and the second and third are equal to one another, then that means the first and third will be also equal to one another. Same thing happens with an angle. That was for a segment, this is an angle. If angle A equals angle B, that's the first and second angle, and then angle B is equal to angle C, and the second and the third angle, then that means that angle A is equal to the measure of angle C. The first and third are equal to one another. So, the measure of angle A, let's say, is equal to 15 degrees. The measure of angle B is equal to 15 degrees. And the measure of angle B is equal to 15 degrees. And then the measure of angle C is equal to 15 degrees. Then that has to mean that the measure of angle A is equal to 15 degrees and the measure of angle C is also equal to 15 degrees by the transitive property. Okay, please make sure you study those.